Here we are entering Lonesome Pioneer Park. Heading down the driveway. Yay!
What do you think, Mama?
Unbelievable. What are these people here? Do we know?
Yeah, they're people that are helping out with the... Yeah, it looks good. Here we are at the dedication of Lonesome to become Lonesome Pioneer Park. And there are a lot of people here. I mean, more than I think anybody expected. Look at the parking lot. Cars everywhere. Fantastic. Children playing checkers. So much support. This is the goal chart. We're doing pretty good.
This is for real this time. We're really getting we have a fun day planned. We have music. We have more food than we're going to know what to do with. Lots of soft drinks. So as soon as all these people quit talking, we'll have music and a lot of fun. And I hope we have some dancers out there that are going to dance to the music. It's rare that we get a glimpse of the past, present, and future all at one time. Today is one of the days we get to do that. The community rejoices that we're getting these wonderful woods and the creek and the house. But the Austin family is sad. This is the end of an era for them. Almost 200 years of an era. And they're glad that they put it into the hands of capable, wonderful people. But at the same time, it's really tugging at their heartstrings. So the first thing I'd like to do is have all the Austin family stand so we can see where they are and who they are. Is all the Austin family already standing?
Yeah.
We'll wave.
Raise your hand if you're an Austin.
Yes, raise your hand. Okay. Yay. Today, the community is accepting a huge responsibility with this gift. We are now going to be responsible for the trees, the grass, the flowers that are planted. This is not a place that we want teenagers to come and party and throw trash. We want this to be a peaceful place, just like Lonesome has been forever. In the next few minutes, you're going to hear some of the plans for Lonesome that will help it grow. I would like you to meet the wonderful family and greet them. They've already raised their hands. I want you to greet them when we finish and tell them thank you for giving us such a wonderful gift. And while I'm speaking of gifts, Billy Langford, are you here? Billy Langford just gave us a donation of $3,500.
Woo!
Yay to Billy. I also need to tell you that all of the city council persons and the mayor gave a year's salary to this project, and the city council gave 2 months. So I think this is such a loved place that for people to already start giving and enjoying with the plans just makes me feel so good. Last night at dinner, I was sitting by the mayor, and he had a couple of ideas that he talked about, and the more we talked, the more excited everyone got. And so I hope you get excited enough today. Your money would be wonderful, but that isn't really what we want. We want you to get on a team, be part of a committee that helps care for this place. We have plans for a lot of activities, and that means we need a lot of people. Now I'm going to start introducing people that are here. Mayor, I would like you to stand up and say a few words. Where did he go?
How are y'all?
All right.
I'll make this short. It's hot out here. Thank everyone for coming out. This has been something that's meant a lot to the family, as well as, you know, our family has roots here as well. And so as the idea started coming around, it was, you know, to me, you know, when we were kids, their family was not in the area a lot, and one of our duties annually was go mow the cabin. You know, we would bush hog this area, so I grew up here running around, and we used to get kids down here that didn't know the area and get them in the creek down there and tell them there was a witch that lived here, and she'd kill you if you stayed here after dark. It was a lot of fun, but
Man.
I would like to, real fast, Andre, come here, please.
Yay!
Andre has been working down here and keeping this up. Here's our maintenance man.
Hey, Andre!
Andre is, as far as the work and upkeep down here, I'm not responsible for it other than having this guy as our maintenance man, which he's been a blessing, and he's the guy that's the reason it looks like it is now. And everyone gets a chance to tell him thanks.
He also puts up tents.
Yes, he put the kid
Ah.
He's strong, guys, so we didn't even need an elephant like sir. But Andre, we appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. We have a lot of ideas, and the great thing is, you know, it's not really anything that I've done. This board right here, they have great ideas. Just tell them if they need anything, just let us know. Anything we can do to help, that's what we're here for. It just means a lot that everyone's out here, and this thing will gradually progress and get better and better over time. And we just appreciate everybody coming out. Thank you.
Now I'd like to introduce the brains and the muscle behind getting us to this point today, and that is the board of directors. The board is charged with planning, fundraising, making sure that everything goes forward the way it should, and they're just such hard workers. First, we have Bob Deal.
Hello, Bob.
Bill Austin. Gail Jones, who is 3 people. And last but not least, Jerry Perella. The reason I get to do this today is because I'm the newest member of the board, and they just said, okay, you have to do this. There's no vote. Jerry's son had kidney surgery yesterday, and so we have all had Jerry and his son in our thoughts. He's doing well, for all of you that have known that, and we're just real glad you're here today, Jerry. Thank you. You're welcome. Now Mary Littleton is going to give us a proclamation.
First, thank you for letting me be a part of this special day. And it's a proclamation from the House of Representatives. It says, whereas the members of the legislative body are pleased to join in which the committee of this state upon celebration of the heritage of Tennessee and its people. And whereas one such community, Burns, located in Nixon County, will celebrate the receipt of the town's gift from the William Austin family, which is the frontier home of Beaver Dam Creek, known as Lonesome Cabin, and is surrounded 8.9 acres of land on June 20th, 2015. And whereas Lonesome was constructed in 1819 as a wedding gift for William Green Will Austin, a veteran of the War of 1812, and bride Delilah Dicey Horner, whose families traveled from Orange County, North Carolina to make their home in the new state of Tennessee. Whereas laid out in the typical frontier homeland style, the cabin had 2 large rooms with fireplaces and were separated by a breezeway. Local rocks were used to form the foundational piers and chimneys, and the walls were erected using hand-honed chestnut timbers from the surrounding forest land. I, Beth Harwell, Speaker of the House of the 109th General Assembly of the State of Tennessee, at the request and in conjunction with Representative Mary Livingston, do hereby proclaim that we join with the residents of Town of Burns in celebrating the donation of this historic homestead cabin, Lonesome, given to them by the Will Austin family, commending the benevolence of this family and their commitment to the preservation of the site of the future generations. And it's signed by Beth Harwell and Mary Livingston. Thank you.
I would also like to recognize the police force in Burns that's here today and the commissioners that took time to come. If y'all would just raise your hand and we'll give you an appreciation. Thank you so much for being here. The last person I want to introduce before I turn it over to Bill and Bob is John Reynolds. John, are you around? Where are you?
Right here.
Okay. John has given us a fabulous painting that was a mural on the wall. John, did you take it down?
Yeah, actually, it was in the possession of John Luke. Where's John Luke at? You're gonna help me hold it. You wanna explain this thing?
Yeah.
John, how long has it been since?
Early 40s. Early 40s.
No, I mean since the restaurant was.
98.
So I've had this thing in my possession since '98. John was kind enough to let me take it off the wall. And I guess I knew I was saving it for something special because here it is. Great. And hopefully the city will display it in City Hall, and eventually maybe it'll be moved here to the museum.
Hold it up, one more time. Over here. Okay, we got a good picture.
Robert Sugg.
Here we go with the date, Betty. The date. The date is showing there. Take another picture.
What you notice here is this is the original way of coming to the cabin was from down there along the creek. There was no town, there was no 96, so you came right up the creek there, and the first thing you saw was the chimney. So you can go down there after and see the ruts in the old road that used to be the only way you could get here from anywhere.
Nashville.
Thank you so much, John.
Yes, thank you.
Now I'm going to let Bob talk about the plans, the short list for the future.
I'll try to be brief, not quite as close as I look. This is the acreage, which includes what we speculated to be 2 acres to be gifted by the owner of the property to the south, and some more property that's just west of the site, so that the total park acreage would be 11.5 acres. However, the gift today is only a little close to 9 acres. The park will include the area mentioned, the historical cabin, which you've all seen. We'll do clean water exhibits because people who settled this area came in, they found a spring, and they built the cabin near the spring. And there's an old spring here. Unfortunately, in 2010, the spring house got washed away, and we'll replace that. We'll have walking trails. We'll have botanical areas. The glade down here between the spring, which is a nice sized spring, and the creek is just a total collection of ferns, and we're going to get with the nature people and try to let that be an educational experience to find out and understand what the botany is like in the area, as well as identifying trees and arboretums for trees. We're hoping to have a demonstration garden, which will be just a small planting of foods that people would have planted when they lived in this cabin and in the era that it was occupied. We're going to do a picnic area with a pavilion. We're hoping to get that started right away because we'll include in that some public toilets, and we need those down here in order to make the place a little more habitable, as you probably all understand that. And then there will be wading in Beaver Dam Creek. Beaver Dam Creek right now comes from a corner of the site, goes off the site in what we anticipate being the land gift, and then back onto the site. So we've got some of the creek on the site and some's off, but we want to be able to walk the creek from one end of the site to the other. This plan is somewhat flexible. We're down now to we're going to have all the land grants and everything done in 2013. Well, we're still working on some of that. We were going to try to open the park in April of 2015, which we've obviously already passed that date, but we've made tremendous progress in the last few months, so we're well on our way to catching up. We want it to be used by families who come out and just have a picnic and play in the creek. We want school groups to come, maybe classes and the school buses come down, have a picnic, play in the creek. We'll have trail walking, as I said, an arboretum, and we're going to try to make the old cabin a museum. Burns, history, display. And then I know that here the Boy Scouts have offered to do some things to help us, and we're going to take full advantage of that, and it obviously would be a great place for the Scouts to come have a campfire. And we appreciate all of your help. We are doing this, part of our objective in doing this today is a fundraiser. There will be an opportunity for you to sign up. You can make whatever contribution you feel is appropriate, and all of that will help us get our goal of getting this underway achieved. And I want to mention John Reynolds is here. John, whose painting of the cabin is just a gem, and we've used it a number of times in some of our brochures and what have you, but John has with him today some prints that he'll sign and sell. So if somebody wants one of his, a print of his drawing of the cabin, then they'll be available today. John, do you want to add anything to this?
Yeah, I would just like to say that if I think Bill and I talked about it. I think if someone makes a contribution of at least $100, we're going to give them a credit. But these are it's an illustration I did of the cabin a few years ago, and had some copies made. And so it doesn't have anything to do with the mural that you saw just a few minutes ago. But anyway, the prints are inside. They're available for $20, and more like a contribution than anything. But that's all good.
Thank you, John.
I'm going to leave this stuff just displayed here, so I know you can't see it from the back. If somebody wants to come take a closer look, you can. And then this is an illustration of what the picnic pavilion and public toilets may look like, which hopefully we can get started very soon. This is just, again, just some beginning ideas of that, but we definitely need to get that underway. Thanks, Diane.
David Shepard just arrived. David, would you like to say a few words?
Hey, how are you? Thank you. Thank you for being here. I was lucky enough a couple years ago to come when they first talked about the Lonesome project, and we were talking about, I think Mary and I were trying to work a little bit about trying to get it moved to Montgomery Vale and some other things that were being talked about, but actually this is exactly what needs to happen. It needs to be local. Obviously the mayor and the city council have stepped up and made this project I think it's a project of love, I think, for the mayor, obviously. And this is going to be wonderful for Burns. I met a Burns resident yesterday somewhere, and they didn't even know about this. They didn't even know the cabin was here, and they've lived here their whole life. So anyway, thank you, and I appreciate being invited, and appreciate being here.
We have a couple of more proclamations, but before I introduce those people, it would be remiss if we didn't thank David for the highway sign. David, would you just wave your hand?
Very nice.
The more we do, the more we find people that genuinely want to help. I saw the person that comes to our house every 90 days to get rid of any bugs here today. And I thought, well, you know what? This would be a wonderful activity for that little company to come get rid of the bugs.
And other things.
Also, I would like to introduce you to an extremely important person as we move forward, and that's Gail Jones, who is president, Gail Mitchell, who is president of Gardening Partners, and her knowledge of everything botanical is incredible. And we're going to get Gardening Partner people out here to sort of help us define what needs to stay and what needs to go. This morning she said, well, the first thing is get rid of all the privet. So I guess that's the first thing we need to do with Gail. Thank you, Gail, for coming. We really appreciate that.
Raise your hand first.
Gail, raise your hand. There's a representative from Bob Rowell's office here that is going to read a proclamation. Would you please come forward?
Mayor Rowell could not attend. There were some unexpected conflicts in his schedule, but he asked that this proclamation be presented today. And the thing that stands out to me is the love of Dixon County and how each community comes together to form our whole county, and what a love and honor it is for the Austin family to give this gift not only to Burns but to Dixon County as a whole. And thank you. And I think you've done a great job, and for the board of directors that have put this together for families and generations to come, and that's what it's all about. Thank you, Mr. Austin. This proclamation is from Dixon County, Tennessee, Mayor Bob Rowell, and on behalf of the Dixon County Commission, it says, whereas, as children in early 1800s, William Austin and Delilah Dicey Horner moved with their families to the newly formed state of Tennessee, growing up as neighbors and friends. Whereas at 21 years of age, William Austin volunteered for service in the War of 1812, and in 1819, William Austin and Dicey Horner married. Whereas as a wedding gift, William's mother and stepfather, Ruth Kelly Austin and David Passmore, built for them a log cabin nestled along the banks of the Beaver Dam Creek in the 4th Civil District of Dixon County, Tennessee. Whereas local rocks and stones were used to build the log cabin's foundation, piers, and chimneys, and the walls were constructed from hand-hewn American chestnut timbers cut from the surrounding woodlands. Whereas William and Dicey Horner Austin lived in the cabin from 1820 to 1876, during which time they had 11 children and acquired over 800 acres of land. Whereas over the years the log cabin was referred to by family members as Lonesomehurst, with the name later being shortened to Lonesome. Whereas the Lonesome cabin remains standing to this day with various modifications and renovations having been made to it over the years, and it has remained in the Austin family since its construction in the early 1800s. Whereas the Austin family recently announced its decision to dedicate the Lonesome log cabin and approximately 8.9 acres of surrounding land to the town of Burns for the purpose of preserving the cabin and establishing a nature park for public use. Whereas in accepting the dedication of the Lonesome log cabin, the town of Burns has established the Lonesome Pioneer Park, and whereas the dedication of the Lonesome log cabin by the Austin family and its establishment as a public park will offer to future generations the opportunity to learn about the history of the Burns area, see a cabin, furniture, furnishings, and documents from the 1800s, and enjoy the beauty and surroundings known as Lonesome. Now therefore be it resolved that the County of Dixon, Tennessee, by and through its county mayor, does hereby express its appreciation to the Austin family for the gift of Lonesome Pioneer Park to the town of Burns, and does hereby proclaim and designate June 20th, 2015 as the Lonesome Pioneer Park Day of Celebration, dated this 20th day of June 2015.
We're almost through, I promise. My husband just told me that I forgot to thank the firemen that are here today, and so certainly appreciation for y'all. Because Marty and I live right outside the city limits of Burns, I worry all the time about our fire department. I just want them to be recognized and on their toes so that if anything happens, they're going to cross that line and come put the fire out of our house. Thank you very much. You're good? And then someone that just we can't leave out is Darcy Deal. It's Bob's wife, and she has contributed so much time and energy and enthusiasm. Darcy,
Stand
would
up.
you stand up? The next time you will see me after today, probably, if you don't get on a committee, will be, we're planning to have a fall folk festival where we have music played that we would have heard in the 1800s, little demonstrations of Spencer Mill, things like this. That will be our first endeavor to involve the community in a day-long activity. The second one is, in October, we're partnering with the drama department of the high school, and we're putting on, every weekend in October, we're putting on a spook drama in the cemetery. If you haven't been to the cemetery, you need to go over there and see it, because there is a very unusual grave, and that's going to be the basis for the spook story. Don't think that you have to give a donation today. Just put your name on the list so we can email you and tell you what's going on. I'm going to turn it over to Bill, but I have to tell you how much I appreciate seeing so many friends and neighbors here. Thank you so much for coming, and I will adjourn after Bill has his say.
No.
Thank you, Diane, and thank you to this board that has been so helpful to us to get to this point. Would you give them all a round of applause one more time? I want to welcome you all, the community political leaders, the Austin family, relatives. Many of you are related that we don't even know how you're related to our family, but if your family goes back far enough, we are. And of course, all the people of Burns and Dixon County that have come out today. Welcome to you all. 196 years ago, as you've heard, William and Dicey moved into this little cabin. And they didn't know what was going to happen next week. Never mind a year later. Never mind 196 years later, but I'm sure they could not imagine that the cabin would still be here and that we would all be standing here celebrating that fact. Many of your ancestors are from this area, had cabins like this, and through various misfortunes, all of those cabins are almost gone. So we want you to think of this as just as much your cabin as ours, especially if your ancestors had a similar experience. Now, there are over 500 descendants of William and Dicey. Those 10 kids were very prolific. Not all of them are living, of course. I'm counting all the way back, the whole family tree. And we have my sister's made a lovely chart, family tree, that's on the porch when you go to get your lunch. If you look on the wall, you'll see this big family tree of where some of the people are anyway that we know about. All the way down to the 5th generation of William and Dicey, which is me, and the 7th generation of William and Dicey, which are these two lovely kids right here. My granddaughter Iris, would you guys stand up? And William. Thank you, kids. We love Lonesome. We've been coming here, I've been coming here since I was a baby. And my mom is here. We'll introduce her in a minute for the ribbon cutting. She's 98 and she's been coming here almost all that time too. And we can't imagine not having this in our family. And at the same time, we have been taking care of it and making more and more friends in the community. We knew that we had some choices to make because none of us live nearby any longer. And after looking at moving it to the state park and maybe moving it to Dixon or selling the land, we decided the right thing to do is to share it with the people of Dixon County and especially the people of Burns. And fortunately, we came upon this idea at a time when Landon and the other commissioners were in position of leadership in the town to agree that this was something that they wanted to do too. So I'm reminded all weekend of this is kind of like a wedding. You ever think about that? Where Lonesome is like the bride and Burns, right over there, is like the groom. All of you are the family of the groom. And all of us are the family of the bride. And I am like the father of the bride, giving her away. Picture that, how that feels. Look at her, isn't she beautiful?
Yeah.
She's never looked prettier. So, somebody said this morning, we're not losing a cabin, we're gaining a town.
Yay!
And that's really how we feel. We have so many friends here and more every day that are coming out to help us make this a reality. We trust you all. We know that you're going to take good care of our cabin and the cemetery and the land, and we look forward to being part of that with you. Thank you very much.
Hey, Billy boy. Now there's the train.
Train going by perfect.
Okay. We want you to know that there is a website called Friends of Lonesome, and if you pick up a brochure inside, it will have all the information on how to get in touch with us. We have put not only our names on there, but we've also put our telephone numbers and our email. So that means that all of you can just drive us crazy by sending us silly emails all day long. But we do want to stay in touch. So please communicate with us. Find something that you really enjoy doing. If you like basket weaving, if you do pottery, we need to know that because those are skills from the 1800s. And when we do demonstrations, we want to include everyone. If you're just really good at computer skills, we need somebody to do that for us, to set things up. So please become a part of this family. There's not enough words to say thank you to the Austin family other than us making this so great that it continues for another 200 years. Now we're going to do the ribbon cutting, so I'm going to turn it over to the chamber, and we'll meet Bill's mom. She's going to come over here.
So I'm saving the best moment till last. My mom and dad brought us here since we were little children. We used to live in Nashville, and my dad is buried up in the cemetery and is smiling on us right now. And my mom is still here And so we thought it'd be only fitting for her to cut the ribbon to donate the park officially and kind of open the park. We didn't realize that the scissors weigh about 50 pounds. I don't know quite how we're going to do this, but that's what's going to happen next. And then when that's done, we'll be ready for lunch. Just file down there, go in that door of the porch. Across the porch, you'll find a place we'd like for you to put your name and your email, and a table if you care to make a donation or to buy any of the artifacts that we've spoken of. And then there's barbecue and drinks, and file on back, mill around, try out the trails that Bob's already got started. Go up to the cemetery. We'll have somebody up there with a little chart that shows where Bob's fingers are buried and tell you the story of Bob's fingers, and things like that. And we hope you, this will be the first day you can enjoy this park, but certainly not the last.
And the dam.
Oh yeah, and go down and wade in the creek and check out the dam that gets built. So, who's going to do the chamber stuff?
Good thing I'm not too tall. I'm Jessica Russell, and I'm out today from the Dixon County Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each of you for coming out. The Dixon County Chamber is very happy and honored to be a part of this ceremony today, and we're going to have a ribbon cutting and see how we can set this up and let Miss Austin be a part of it and their family. Thank you for the donation for the county. We're going to do everything that we can to draw attention to this area. I personally live in Burns, and I'm guilty of being the same way as the resident that someone said yesterday. I drive by here every day and never knew it was here. So thank you all for coming out, and we appreciate the donation to the county and the community.
Thank you. Referee.
Yay!
Uh-oh.
You're doing good!
Good job.
Let's go!
I'll just do this.
There you go. Yeah, you can do stills.
All right, I'm gonna try.
You got the Austins from the rest.
Y'all have to hold real still on this one because it's going to take 2 pictures.
We're here.
We will get here and me being a mattress.
I thought it was 122, but
Here we are, Mama, and Lonesome behind her, standing tall. Where are you, Mama? Where are you?
Where are you, Mom? Lonesome.
Yeah, that's right. You got that right.